up, y'all? It's Bella, back testing with Bella, TradingBae. So today I'm going to walk y'all through a 188% trade using liquidity grabs with ICT. So if you haven't already subscribed, I'm going to need you to go ahead and subscribe to my channel because you guys know I'm dropping heat every day. So just show some appreciation, you know what I'm saying? Like, show some appreciation to somebody that's helping you. Or, you know, just help me. But anyways, getting into it, I took a call at a low of, I think I got in at 39.09, and I took it all the way to a high of 39.45, and that was a 188% trade, traded SPX on a 0 day. So let's get into the replay and my mind frame and how I even thought that it would come about. So that's where it was from. So this is from the 2-minute chart. So this is like from all day. So this is like from 9:30 up until 12:12, right? So going to the hour chart, I'll just start from my top-down analysis. So the top-down analysis, it was like here. I marked the high and the low of the previous day or whatever. And then I go down to the 4-hour chart. The 4-hour chart, it is a 3, looking like it wants to go up into the fair value gap, but unfortunately that never got touched. Going down to the 1-hour chart, there is liquidity to the downside. So I'm going to mark this here because the liquidity eventually does need to get taken out. But there's also a lot of liquidity to the upside. So there is liquidity to the sell side. Actually, you know what? I don't want a background today. I'm gonna just leave it without a background. So I gotta hurry up and do this in 10 minutes because in the thumbnail I did say you guys can learn liquidity in 10 minutes. So let me just go ahead and just give you guys a quick example of how liquidity works in the market. So it's liquidity under this level. There's liquidity under that level. So going down from the 1-hour chart down to the 15-minute chart. I don't too much care about the 30-minute chart. If you guys see here, just marking where it's currently at, and I'll make this a different color. I'll make it orange. You guys can see that it's reaching a point where it already went. It's going to a support level. So there. Going back to the 1-hour chart, this is also what I seen. I seen a support level. So deleting those. Going back to the 1-hour chart, I seen a support level here. So I marked it and I made it green because I knew that it could from there then bounce to the upside. And also on a 1-hour chart, there's a green order block. So that means at this point, it failed to go lower. And now it's back at this point. The 1-hour time frame is a higher time frame. So it does consider to be like to make a bigger move. Like you can trust that it's going to make a bigger move, right? So going down to the 15-minute chart. And I'm also going to get into a little bit of the Strat and just Strat entries. And, you know what I'm saying? So from there, I also drew a broadening formation on a 15-minute time frame. And you guys know how we do broadening formations. We use it from a previous high to a lower high and a lower low to a lower low. I made a video on that, so if you guys didn't watch that video, go get into it. Going down to the 5-minute chart, I seen on a broadening formation, every time it goes to this point, using a highlighter, every time it touches the point on the broadening formation, it's gonna bounce up. So it did bounce up and then it quickly rejected back down. It's also at a support level. So right here, I'm looking for calls to take out the liquidity to the upside because it's went to a like the low of the low, right? So I'm already looking like from the 5-minute chart, and I'm like, okay, if it breaks this structure here at 39.09, I'm looking to take calls, and then I would set my target points for here. First target, 39.13. Second target, 39.21. Third target was to the top of here, 39.25. Those were my targets, and all of those targets were hit. So eventually, it started to go to the upside and take out the upside liquidity, and this is where the liquidity comes in. So this was from the sell side liquidity, and it bounced all the way up. So even if I'm deleting all these lines, because I want to make it super clear for you guys, I'll just use a path. So it went down. I wanted to see it go up, and then I wanted to see it. Oh shit, why did it stop like that? I wanted to see it retrace back down to that level and then go up higher. So that was my mind frame to take out the sell side and go to the buy side liquidity, right? Because there's a lot of liquidity up here that it hadn't touched all day. It hadn't touched. It had been resistance. Like every time it got to this point, drop, 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 drop. Went down. It took out the sell side liquidity, and now it's back there. So I'm like, okay, there's going to be a pop up now. So going to the 2-minute chart, here's where I'm looking for entries. I told you guys, as soon as I would have seen it break the structure here at 39.09, I would have been in for calls. So let's get into it, and you guys are going to watch how it plays out. You guys can also see how the broad information is on a lower time frame and how it's just holding it. I'll do a different line so you guys can see more clear. Hopefully you guys can see clear on this line with this color. So here is where it was safe to enter. And I want you guys to watch how it takes out the target points. So like I said, I had my first target there, 39.13. I had my second target point, 39.22. My third target point was somewhere around 39.25, which you guys can also see was a fair value gap. And then there was a break of structure here. There was a break of structure fair value gap. So on a good day, there to just take out all of the upside liquidity. And you guys can see like this is way at the bottom. It's way at the bottom. You're playing from a support level on the hour zone, and then you go down to the 15-minute zone. And I drew a broad information. You guys see how it was playing out on the 5-minute chart. Every time we got to that point, you go up. Got to that point again, it goes up. I make it bigger so you guys can see. Got to that point, it goes up. So going back to the 2-minute chart so you guys can just see how it plays out. How it's going to go all the way back up to that broad information. Yo, watch how this broad information plays out. And you guys can kind of see how it's following the path. So right there would have been safe entry again to go for calls. You guys see that broadening formation? So now it's passed through the broadening formation. Like, it's just taking out targets at this point. So here was also another fair value gap. I'll make that purple. That is a huge imbalance in the market that wants to get filled. So there, it went there to a high of 39.45, right? And then it rejected from there. So every time it goes to the broadening formation, it drops. It's back at the broadening formation. It's going along the lines. Now it's back at the broadening formation. And then from there, it dropped again. So at first, I was showing you guys the liquidity. And then got into the broadening formations or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you got to add everything in there. Even though it's only supposed to be like really one topic today, sometimes you just got to add everything. So if you add in all these things into perspective and you know where your support and resistance is at, and you can spot the sell side and the buy side liquidity, then you are going to be good in whatever you choose to trade. So just real quick, I want you guys to watch how this comes back down. I want you guys to see how it respected the broadening formation. You guys are going to see here, it's going to go back up into this fair value gap. It's going to go back up into this fair value gap. At least to fill 50% of it. And then that would have been another safe entry to go for puts. So you would have been able to do something like this. Right? From this line. Safe entry again for puts. And there you have it. I gave you guys a quick example of what liquidity is, and I also showed you guys how broad information looks and how broad informations get respected using a strat, and I showed you guys, you know, the upside and downside of the sell side and the buy side liquidity. So that is my video for today. If you guys have any questions, then please hit me in the DM. I'll be answering everybody's questions or whatever. So yeah, and please subscribe to my video and have a great rest of your night.